Manually editing your Streamlabs now.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming, where we don't have technical difficulties and I haven't streamed in a month. Get off my back! We're here. We're doing Patreon one-shots. This is Call of Cthulhu. I think everyone's in the right spot. I'm not in control anymore. I've actually been fired from the company. This is just a pre-recorded thing, an elaborate ruse, if you will. Yeah, we're here. This is for Patreon. These are all patrons. That's it. This is Iquin's crazy game that we keep trying to avoid any kind of plot he's put in front of us by instead having beer, talking about criminals, girls, and guns. So far, 10 out of 10. He's killed one of us. That's it. That's all I got. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, Patreon link down below. That is the best way to do it. And while you're down there, click on that Discord link, join the community, join the conversation, and as always, in the bottom right-hand corner is the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Icon gets to do what the hell he wants to these wonderful players, but not me. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to this community to help with cool art, cool overlays, cool all kinds of things, hiring someone to replace me, all that fun stuff. And we will learn today if the players themselves want to fill their own corruption bar and lose another character, but only time will tell. That being said, I turn things over to Iquin himself and bring us into the weird world of Call of Cthulhu.
Thank you, Mike. As everyone out there probably remember, I need first to do my transformation that Mike hates. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to take my nice little mask. I'm going to put it on my face, just like Mike wants it. I'm going to take my headphones back. I'm going to put them here. Now I can hear Mike's
grumbles. And
then I'm just going to, I can hear Mike, how all his regrets are surfacing again. Then I'm going to take my little hoodie thing that always gives me trouble because it hates me. And I'm going to put it on. And now I am the keeper. And now I will bring you back into this.
CG, you wonder why he had glitter on him. Because he's this dramatic.
Yes. Dude, why even do this if you can't be this dramatic? Anyhow, from the very early start, we had the McCarthy estate. Where people fucked about in a house. They got possessed. They stopped being possessed. They got someone killed. They think they burnt down the house, if I remember correctly. Very vivid memory of people totally burning down a house with alcohol. Such waste of nice booze. But then we gathered in a mall, the Mall of Smiles. But that is not this time, because this time, more time has passed. Exactly 1 week and 6 days, in fact, have passed. And the characters made it out of the mall. They are not directly searched by the police, or they are not actually wanted by the police. But people with their descriptions are wanted by the police. I am soon done with my hood, I promise. So even though they might lay low or might not, they are not requested by name so far. Life has moved on. They've been able to heal their wounds that they sustained. And they have done whatever they could to mourn poor Becca, their lost comrade, and as we know, Danny's girlfriend. And I will say that the first thing we were going to go into is to ask the characters who survived, what have you been up to until this point? And I will start off where you are as soon as I finish going through what you've been doing. So we will start from the down below. Maka, what have you been doing since the mall for the current 1 week and 6 days of time that have passed?
Maka's been laying low. He's been on expeditions where people have died before, and he knows the best thing you can do in that sort of situation is just lay low and hope the heat blows over. So he's got his new mate, Dano, who's hooked him up with some out-of-the-way accommodation and a steady supply of booze and whiskey. And he's been doing research, particularly on the two-dimensional thing that attacked him. That piqued his interest. And he's been getting his young ward, Rico, to get him supplies from the university.
Excellent. That brings us to our next person. Frederick Marlowe. What is those tasks that you've been doing these past 1 week and 6 days?
So Frederick Rico Marlowe is the enlightened gentleman who he's been acquiring books and stealing, doing what Danny does, acquiring books from the library of the university for the ones that Macca requires. So when Macca needs a book about some strange occurrence, Frederick goes and acquires it from the library by whatever means necessary, and then does his best to try and understand and enlighten himself a little bit more.
I see. And then the person who is your protector at the moment, Danny Kilbane. What have you been up to this 1 week and 6 days?
Not crime, that's for sure. Danny doesn't steal. He's not a thief. He has provided the accommodations for these this one gentleman and Freddie. It is one of the warehouses that Danny uses for his not crime, which contains very legally acquired through use of money and not intimidation artifacts from all over the world that were imported completely legally as far as Danny is concerned. So there is a warehouse, a giant like crane operator thing on top. There's an office, and the office is where the bedding has kind of been stashed, where like there's a couple cots in there. The desk has been pushed against the wall, that kind of thing. But no crime has happened, Quinn. That's unrealistic.
I see. And as we all try to believe that, I know that we have another player and another new character, but we have to wait a bit for that. It will come and we will introduce G's new character in a moment. But first, we're going to summon you 3 office dwellers to a motel. Actually in the outskirts of town, a very sleazy part of Boston, where you have been summoned by letter. There's 3 letters, one from each of you, and there are no no return address. There's no postage, no stamping of the postage at all. These were hand delivered, and they came and under the door. It's a warehouse. So like under the door is more of a metaphorical mean here, but you did not see who delivered them. But the letters briefly go through what happened at the McCarthy estate. It names all 3 of you, each one in each letter, and your connection to the death of Sarah McCarthy. It doesn't explain much, but it's enough for you to know that whoever wrote this letter actually seems to be in the know-how of what actually went down there. The police doesn't seem to be, so you suspect that there's someone else. And it's said in the letter that all will be explained on this very night, on this evening, where you have shown up to this very motel named in the letter, and you are supposed to go to room 2A, which is on the 2nd floor, and it's sort of like away from the street into one of the corner rooms. But I will let you start in the parking lot, arriving by some means into the parking lot of this very low budget renting motel. It's probably rented by the hour rather than by today, that kind of place. So what do you 3 want to do here?
I think Macca, who wasn't actually at the McCarthy estate, is very curious as to why he's been implicated, and he blames the obvious person, Rico, because he's the one you blame for everything that goes wrong. And he's looking at Rico and saying, so what have you gotten me into now?
I didn't do anything. I'm telling you again, this is the 100th time. It was Danny. He set fire to the mansion with all that. He ruined so many books. There was so much information in there. We could have gleaned everything we needed to know, but he burnt it down. I did nothing. I just went, and the girl died, and then Danny burnt the place down.
Oi! What are you making up again? What are you
I
telling?
make up
Are you
nothing.
telling a story about it?
Yeah, it's like the news where they tell the truth.
Yeah, no, a fairy tale
The
story.
news just lies because they don't tell you about the real truth.
Okay. So, listen, the real deal is that we got invited to a party. But it wasn't really a party. It was just the 4 of us. The 5 of us? The 4 of us. The 4 of us. Me,
It's a
him,
very small party.
the chick that died, right? Adler.
I've heard of those sort of parties.
Yeah, yeah.
There's keys in a bowl.
It wasn't one of those, right? So I had never met him before. Then there was the Becca Adler girl, the one that died. You remember her?
Your
She was there.
girlfriend, yep.
I don't know why you keep saying that, right? So she died. She died the last. She wasn't dead at the time. And then there was the Sarah girl, and we were there to meet her father, who is an acquaintance of mine who purchases acquired goods. And then he didn't show. And then she got all weird, and then he started touching things, and I started drinking, and then he got weird, and then someone saw things. I think they spiked the punch, if you know what I mean. And then the girl died, and then he started yelling about ghosts or witches or something. And so we figured the best way would be to light the house on fire and
No,
leave.
don't we? There's no we. It was you and Becca. And, I mean,
see-
he's
see,
pretty right. You guys were on a
what-
date in a pub.
What he doesn't understand, right, is that because he was touching everything, touching bottles, touching books, touching weird trays, a Ouija board, whatever, he's touching all kinds of things. His fingerprints were everywhere, right? And a girl
I was fine
died.
with that.
And a
I was
girl
fine with that.
died there. And it was, it looked bad. It looked like we might have murdered her. And we didn't. So,
To be fair,
to cover
my
up the
fingerprints
evidence,
aren't for any databases.
neither
No
are
one's looking
mine.
for me.
Neither are mine. And so to cover up the fact that we didn't murder, we committed arson instead.
You committed arson.
I understand how that can look, but given what happened a few weeks ago,
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't buy any of this story, but given the events of the past fortnight, I can buy it. So I'm with Dano. Burn the place down.
right?
It's caused all the problems.
No, it didn't. I'm pretty sure you touching all the shit caused all the problems.
It's what released those witches. I'm telling
All
you
right,
now.
listen!
They were locked up.
Harry Potter, stick touching all the shit, okay? If you touch less shit, less witches, okay? That's how it works.
We released one witch.
I'm pretty sure we released like 5.
No, you released 5.
I don't.
I was involved in the one.
I don't think that's true.
With the other dead girl. Seems to be a lot of them.
Sarah,
But
the dead one.
The first dead girl?
Yeah.
We all released one witch with her. You didn't touch anything because you didn't want to get your fingerprints or anything.
Thank you.
And then she died.
Right.
And then you went and released 5 more witches.
I don't think I did. I think she died and I burned the house down.
Which released the witches.
I don't think that's how witches get. This is dumb. Why are we even here? Who knows that? Everyone there is dead. Or here.
At this point, I would just chime in and say that this is a nobody minds anyone else's business neighborhood, and people even here are watching your bickering in the parking lot.
That's fine. It doesn't make any sense to the to everyone listening. It sounds very confusing.
All I take from it is we're throwing Frederick under the bus.
Oh,
Whoever's onto us.
yeah, no, at every opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
No.
You know what door to go to, and I will take it that you have this enlightened in discussion while perhaps moving closer to said door on the second story of this motel
Of course.
construct, apartment, housing, whatever you call it.
Absolutely.
Frederick's at the back of the queue. He's ready to run.
Fine.
As
Who wants to
always.
head the queue?
Danny will head the queue.
Sure. You make it up after a short, very enlightened discussion about who to throw under the bus if things go wrong. And you make it to the door.
Right.
It looks like any other motel door. The golden 2A is there, but it hasn't been cleaned in like 1 week, so it's all smudged up. It's a normal kind of twisty knob door, and as we all know, all motel doors are locked from the outside. And there is like a window facing the walkway you're on, but the drapes has been closed. Like it's completely darked out. You don't know. There might be lights on inside, but it's impossible to tell as it is right now. Somebody doesn't want anyone else to know what is happening in this room.
This is where we're supposed to be, right? This is the place.
Fortunately,
Yeah. I imagine this isn't the authorities. So, I mean, we wouldn't meet the authorities in a motel. So,
I would hope not.
well, I've never met authorities in a hotel, but
I
you
mean,
guys have lived full lives, so
Right. I've met them in a hotel, but they're usually the different kind of authorities. It's a whole. It don't. They're friends, less authoritative and more. Anyway, and he knocks on the door.
You hear footsteps coming from inside. Danny, you can easily see that the peephole lights up. Somebody removes the cover from the inside, and a moment later, the door opens. This is one of those doors that opens outwards as per fire safety. And in the door frame, it's a meager man looking a bit sickly, worried, looking out over the parking lot behind you, quickly showing you in. And all three of you, I think, should recognize Theodore McCarthy in the door. A much thinner, more sickly looking, worn down Theodore McCarthy.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Teddy, you're not looking the best, man.
No, please, come in. I'm sorry. I will explain everything, but nobody can see us here. Please, enter fast.
Dano made a noise outside.
Yes, I heard you. That's why I want you to get inside fast before anyone sees us.
I'm gonna throw you off the roof.
And as
You're gonna throw me under a bus? What difference does it make?
Well, would any one of you three not venture into the motel room with Teddy?
Oh, Freddy trusts Teddy, so he'll go.
Okay. He closes the door behind you, and our camera will move away from the Three Stooges and over to the parking lot again. And in the parking lot, we have another person who has been watching very closely, monitoring this room for some time now, seeing three particular individuals enter this room, and the fourth individual that has been under surveillance opening the door, letting them in. G, please introduce us to who we see down.
We see a young woman. She looks about mid to late 20s. Long, dark brown hair, styled down, kind of wavy, green eyes, and a very serious look about her. And she's kind of hunkered down in the seat of her rental car. And when she sees the three men walk up and approach the hotel room door, she kind of sits up and pulls out her binoculars, and she's looking through them. And when she sees Danny and Frederick, she kind of perks up a little bit more. And as they go inside and she sees Teddy open the door, she makes to exit the car.
Well, you know where to head, and you would also know that this particular individual you've been stalking out, this Theodore McCarthy, he doesn't get visitors, ever. He doesn't associate with people. He actually makes you run for, a run for your money. You need to actually be not on the top of your game, but you need to bring some game to follow him, because he is trying to be unseen and move without being traced. So for him to suddenly have three visitors is very odd.
Yeah. So yeah, she's going to get out of her car and then quietly shut the door. And then she has a holster underneath, like a leather jacket, and she puts her hand there and unclips the snap, and she looks both ways across the parking lot, and she scurries her way across and heads towards the door.
Sure. And since Teddy has blacked out the inside of the apartment from the outside, you can very easily make it without being noticed or seen. I mean, the other patrons of this establishment don't pay you mind at all, and the only four that you're worried about can't see you through the very covered up window. So what is your aim here? Is it to eavesdrop, confront, go to the door, break in the back? What is happening?
Ooh, there's a back way.
It might be.
No, she doesn't want to take too much time. She's gonna go see if she can listen through the door
Sure.
and hear what they're talking about.
Yes. Getting to the door is no problem. It's getting up too close to listen at the door that will be a stealthy thing that you have to do.
Yeah, so it has like, it's a motel, so it has like a window on the front, right? So she's going to be on the opposite side. So she's not going to be obviously close. Does she have to pass by the window to get to the door?
You don't. You can take the long way around. It's not as much as you have to pass in front of the window as your footsteps needs to be silent for them to not pick it up through the door, because they could hear Theodore. Like, this is not a great soundproofed environment. Like, this is cheap and held together by duct tape and spit.
Yeah. So you want me to roll stealth?
Yes.
Okay. Oh God. It's fine.
Okay. As I've told people before, and to refresh the rules, in this game you can push. You tell me a bit about what you try to do differently, and you get to roll again. If you fail a second time, however, that is considered a fumble, and fumbles means dire consequences.
Yes, I'm not going to forget that one this time.
And you can also burn luck. I think this is not the case where you want to do that, but you are available to burn 1 luck point to lower the number you rolled by 1. And you can do that even if you succeed and you want a better success, you can do so, because successes are rated normal to pass the number you have. It's hard if you have half, extreme if you have a fifth, and if you roll a natural 1 in this game, that is a critical success. So you want to roll low and your skills are high. So this game makes it backwards to, for example, Dungeons and Dragons, if you're in the audience are accustomed to that. So do you want to push or burn luck? Or
No.
you go with the flow? Then roll me a listen to see if you can hear anything from the inside.
Let's go. Oh my God. No.
Same rules apply. There are some, for the audience and as a reminder, there are some rolls that you cannot push, and I will tell you when you cannot push, but generally most skill checks can be pushed and luck can be burned.
Okay. Screw this noise. I'm going to push it.
Okay.
I think it's just this particular game that's a curse from my dice roll. There we go.
Extreme success.
Worth it.
You make it up. You wish it would be a smoother experience, but for some reason this floor is super weird. So every time you try to tread lightly, it seems to make more noise for some reason. But you make it over to the door and you start to listen in, and you will hear the same things as I'm going to tell the other ones as we move through the wall back into the room with the 3 investigators and Theodore McCarthy inside the room. Teddy looks a bit riled up, and he looks around, he looks at all 3 of you, and he starts what looks to be kind of a rehearsed speech, not as he's written it down, but he seems to have been talking to himself a lot and rehearsed the parts he wanted to say to you. So he starts off by, I'm so sorry for all the secrecy. I saw on the news people matching your descriptions. I looked into my dear daughter's passing. It took me quite a while to figure out the pieces to get access to the information, and in the fire so much was lost, but I think I must be right. I know I'm right. You were there, weren't you? Danny, and I don't know you as well, young person, but Danny, you I know you're associated with Sarah. I know Sarah, by you, helped to acquire goods for my research, and my dear colleague, and he actually sort of, shakes your hand and puts a hand on your shoulder, Maka. I don't know why Sarah wouldn't tell me, but I saw that you were with the group in the mall in the news, and I figured that you must have been there that night as well. And please, I must know. I must know what happened to my Sarah. And all three of you can, if you want to, roll listen to at this point, see if you pick up that a pair of footsteps have passed through the door. Oh, don't cheer yet, G. They can also push and burn luck if they choose so. But dire consequences happen if you fail.
No, thank you. Oh, does your luck go back to... no, your luck stays the same, right?
Luck stays the same. Okay. Burn luck is permanently burned. Yep. That's why it's such a... You need to think about how to use that resource.
Gotcha.
Okay, then. Nobody picks it up. You can eavesdrop without problems from here on, then.
Oh, your daughter, she, died. Died.
Can I give him the honest answer, Danny?
She died in a fire. Well, she died.
And then there was.
And then she was cremated.
She didn't die in the fire, then?
No.
How did she die? What happened that night? Please.
Freddy just stares at Danny.
So, we got there, right? And you were supposed to be there, and then you weren't. And then, I was having a drink with that other girl, and Freddy started touching things like books and a vase, some of the more weird things you had me collect for you, right? I started reading things in Latin or some other language. I don't know what he was saying. It sounded like gobbledygook to me. It wasn't Celtic, it wasn't Italian, and it wasn't in English. That's for sure. So he started reading things. Okay, yeah, if that's, whatever.
Was it Romanian?
Yeah.
What, Frederick, Frederick, what did you touch?
Okay. No, and he points at Danny.
That's what happened.
What actually happened was Sarah brought down a Ouija board that you had.
You can see him being exasperated, actually taking a step back as you mentioned the Ouija board.
On the back was written in Romanian. And she released your witch, and she tried to kill us and managed to kill Sarah. That's what happened. I didn't touch anything. He points at Danny. I didn't do anything.
And then Sarah got all weird, and then there was something with stars, and then she died.
Yes.
We tried to save her, but she died.
Yes.
And then he was reading more things, and then we figured the best course of action would be to not prevent arson.
Maka, my dear friend and colleague, I know that I usually just go with the history, the artifacts, and none of the stuff that you do in your research. But that one expedition, do you remember the one I took to Romania? Yes, you would remember this. He talked about it a lot before he went. I did uncover something that it was amazing. Power, knowledge beyond belief, and I fell for it. It was a honeypot. It's a trap. But I couldn't resist it. All the knowledge, the history. And yes, it was witches. I brought them back into my home. I thought that I would deal with it. I thought that I would ask your help if it came to it. But before I could do any of that, I foolishly let Corina out, one of the witches. She was trying to take over my body. I don't even know how to tell you, how to explain any of this. From what I can hear you tell, from the little that I could see in the news, and from what the very, very expensive private investigators could tell me that I actually had deployed to keep an eye on you. I've managed to gather that you seem to be more in the know-how about that the witches, magic, all of it, it's real. And I was so very frightened that this might have been exactly what happened. What happened with the other witches, the urns that were sealed? What happened to them?
You know, there
Frederick
was a
must have killed them.
fire.
You didn't bring the urns out of the building?
Why would we know to do that?
No, of course not.
I wasn't allowed to save anything. I was told just to leave it.
Yeah, because the building was on fire.
Just as well. And he sort of raises a hand. Just as well.
I should have left you.
The
in the
knowledge
fire.
in my study should not have been uncovered by any mortal. My
Yeah,
punishment
try
will
to
be
kill us.
severe. My soul is forfeited, but
Yeah,
I am afraid that I
I'm
need
sorry.
to call upon your help again.
You know, people say that, right? Shouldn't be found by any mortal. That's everyone. Everyone is
Yes.
a mortal.
Not quite.
Okay, no, this is not fairy tale land. This is okay. If it shouldn't
Never
have been
mind.
found by any mortal, why did you take it and put it in your fucking house?
Because it was first after I put it in my house, I realized that I should have destroyed it as soon as I found it. Knowledge comes at a price, Danny.
You know,
and
do they not
the
have
price is
Google in Romania?
not for this kind of knowledge. I understand your grievance, and I understand. I've spent a lot of time setting this up away from the eyes of my wife. She must not know. I cannot be seen with you. I cannot directly influence, but I can, and I will try to finance you, help you, but I desperately need your help. You seem to be able to handle these kinds of situations. I've seen it. What I could find after the fire in my estate told a story, and then from what I could gather from my very confused private investigators, continued that narrative that you seem to be capable, and I desperately need you to help me. I cannot go about, I cannot be seen in public, but I need your help.
I don't know if you watch the news at all, but there was a murder and somebody waving around a knife like a crazy person at the mall recently.
And I fear that might be more of them coming unless we act now.
Right. The thing I'm concerned with is that the people they're looking for that are allegedly responsible for the knife waving and the murder match our descriptions.
Well, yes, I didn't say it will be an easy task, but you have seen the news lately, have you not? The illness that keeps spreading. What happened at the mall? What do you think would happen if that started to spread? Large scale. The whole city.
I don't really know because I've been living in a warehouse
I mean, I can move.
because
The-
there are apparently witches trying to kill us.
Yes, and the illness, I am very convinced that the illness is them spreading it. I don't know how, I don't know what their means or their end goal is or how they do this, but I am very certain that whatever is doing this is some plot from those same witches. You let more of them out, and I think that all of them, one of them, some of them are what are behind this illness, and I think they're trying to spread whatever happened in that mall to a larger public. Chaos taking over. I don't know, but I know we need to stop them, and I'm not the person to do it.
Calm down, Teddy. We've all fallen for the honeypot before. We'll definitely help you out. Just tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, no, wherever you're hiding the ghost witch killing gun, point us in that direction, right? Because you have a ghost witch killing gun, right?
You've got a plan, haven't you?
Or a gun.
I don't have a witch killing gun. The fire seemed to have burned all my documentations. I had a spell that could bind them and send them down to hell, but it seemed to have perished in the flames.
Oh, Harry Potter, you keep going on about spells, right?
Yeah, I've read that one.
You have?
Yeah, I kind of
You
know.
remember it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Then you have a weapon against them. My plan so far is that I can't fund you too much because I cannot have my wife find out that I am funding this project, but I managed to, and he pulls out like a larger duffel bag from under the bed and puts it on the bed. I got some disguises, I got some tools, I have some money for you, and he sort of just grabs, party makeup, like clown makeup, that kind of makeup, and he pulls out like prosthetics of wigs, and he has like some rope. He has one of those Rambo knives. It's like a mess of things that he is like. You can tell that he has no idea and sort of goes by MacGyver movies on what you need in an operation like this.
What do you think we're doing?
I think we need to break in and infiltrate the hospital that treats the illness to see what's going on. When I say we, I more meant you, because I cannot be seen there.
I don't
return very soon to my wife.
I read books.
Yeah, it's not that offensive.
I'm not skilled in breaking into things.
No.
I don't know who else to turn to. Who else would believe me?
Teddy, don't. I believe you, mate. Of course, we'll do this. We'll take this gear. But what exactly are we doing when we get into the hospital?
I don't know. The plan isn't perfect. That's why I needed help.
The plan's non-existent.
Yeah, what is the plan? Get in the hospital and then what?
Find out what's happening and stop it. I'm sorry.
That's not even a plan. That's a suggestion.
I'm not the mastermind. I am not the mastermind. I am desperately asking for your help to make sure that mankind doesn't end.
Okay.
Because that's what I think that their goal is.
I'm very frustrated right now. Let me just break this down for you. You go on an expedition. You find things you could probably Googled or asked the weird doctor about. No offense, doc. You're pretty all right. And then you take it back here, and then you look inside your own house, and you say, no mortal should touch this, even though you already done fucked that one, right? And then your house burns down mysteriously, and your daughter dies because of a ghost witch or some shit. And then now a bunch of ghost witch murdered that Becca broad, and now they're trying to kill us, and you want us to break into an hospital and find out what's happening and save the world.
Annie was falling for it. They were on a date and everything.
I wasn't on a date. She's trying to buy a gun from me.
Maka,
I don't sell guns.
Yeah, you
by the way.
can definitely try to kick the door in. I was just waiting for you to want to do that.
For the record, I don't sell guns.
I wasn't trying to buy anything.
What's the rule for that?
You
Brawl?
tried to stab one of us, I think. You don't get a gun.
I would say a brawl. Everything that is just random fighting is a brawl, and I would say that you will kick through the door no matter what. The failure or the success is more like how you enter the room.
Okay.
Like Kramer. Just
yes!
Oh, I was really hoping for a Kramer.
Suddenly, at the end of your sentence, the door, you hear a doom, bam, and the door flies open. The kind of the same way, Danny. Memory comes back of how you open the study. The handle part is just kind of hanging there.
The comedic timing. I don't even sell guns. I don't sell guns.
Yeah, and then she comes storming into the room. Her name is Genevieve Goodchild, or Jen. She comes in and she's got her gun drawn and she's pointing it up at everybody. Don't anybody move.
I don't sell
Put
guns.
Your hands up.
I don't sell guns.
Cops.
Freddy dropped to the floor just last time.
And she pulls back her the side of her coat to have there's like a badge on her belt. She flashes the badge and then puts her on her belt.
Hey, Doc. See, sometimes you do meet the authorities in kind of a hotel like this.
Yep. I'm with
Teddy
you.
would also stand there, hands raised, and be like, "Whoa."
It just says, "Whoa." Oh, yikes.
Nobody move. And she comes in and she regards everybody.
Hello.
And she
Where's the
looks
rest
at
of them?
Teddy. She's like, Mr. McCarthy, you're a hard man to track down.
I sorry. He seems to be very shocked that his door suddenly got burst in by a cop.
So,
Mac also, aren't you meant to identify yourself when entering
Yeah.
a residence?
Police! And she flashes the badge again and then covers it up.
you know, it sounds like you're here for Teddy, so
And she points at Danny.
I'm gonna go.
Shut up.
All right.
What happened to Becca Adler? And she's got the gun pointed right at him.
She died in a fucking mall.
Yeah. How? You're involved?
No,
it was
All of you were
Dano's,
involved. You were all
Dano's
there.
girlfriend, but
it's not my. I've only
we
met her
didn't have
twice.
anything to do with it.
I didn't.
She had
even
a
know.
gun.
She did. She was.
You were dating?
I
What?
wasn't dating. I knew the girl twice. I met her for like 2 hours. Anyway,
And a
she
drink.
tried
Wrap
to
up.
buy a. Yeah, because she was trying to find you, you dink. So she bought a gun off me because she was afraid of some bad people.
Becca doesn't like guns. What are you talking about? She wouldn't do that.
Are you dating her?
She blushes. And she raises the gun again.
Are you dating her? I was just fucking taking
Get
a
against
piss.
the wall!
All right. What? Which one? There's 4 of them.
She points to the one that doesn't have anything like an clear.
I don't know what's happening right now. She died in a fucking mall. She wanted a gun from and she said people were after her.
And she's gonna pat you down to see if you have a weapon on.
Oh, he has a gun.
Okay. She's gonna pull up.
He's a criminal. Gee.
She doesn't know that. But she's gonna guess.
Yeah, he has a Glock, Glock
No.
17 on him. Oh, hey, that's mine. That's mine.
And she looks down at Freddy. She pushes him against the wall.
Where are the rest of the police? He looks out
Just
the door.
me.
Yeah,
Just
you
me.
don't see any rest of the police.
No.
You don't even see any flashing lights down. Like no, what do you call them? Not the sirens. The other.
Oh, he's a runner.
And she's gonna point. She has her hand on Danny's back, and she's gonna point the gun down at Freddy. You're not going anywhere until I find out what happened to Becca.
Put my gun.
I mean,
she died in a mall.
Why won't the local police release details about her death?
I thought you were the police.
And she pushes him again.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Shut
Can
up!
I see that badge again, please?
I'm not from around here.
You know,
So you have no
I'm
real
here
authority.
investigating Becca Adler's death.
but she's local. And you're not from around. I'm going to call the police.
So I guess you weren't dating her then. You know she's not from Boston. She was
I'm
just here going
not-
to school.
I
we're
don't
just on a date.
I don't know the broad. I met her one time, and then she was like, hey, you're a criminal. Do you have guns? And I said, fuck no, I don't have guns. And then I hooked her up with a friend of mine who sells guns. And then she came
Why
to
did
see
she
me.
want a gun?
I said it 3 times! People were
she
chasing
seemed
her.
very taken with Dano. She was dragging him all over the place. He
Yeah.
was fighting the whole time.
It was awful.
She was hanging on his arm.
She's very
You know,
handsy.
like when you link arms.
Yeah, I hated it.
It's very cute.
She's very clingy.
Yeah,
And loud. And bossy.
very bossy. I only knew her for like a couple of minutes, and
Right.
I took that away.
Can you put my gun back?
Teddy's gonna clear his throat at this point and be like, gentlemen, officer, my wife is a lawyer. Very good lawyer. Maybe we could calm down, talk about it, and there will be no need for me to call her.
She steps back and hands him his gun back.
You know, I have friends in the local PD. I'll give them a call. Figure this out right now.
Danny, would you please
Kicking in
close
doors.
the
You do
front
that.
door?
Aren't they wondering where you guys are located right now?
I have other friends, all right?
Hmm.
And he closes the door.
Officer, what's your name?
I'm Officer Goodchild. I'm from Boulder,
Officer-
Colorado. Colorado.
You can see something shifts in Teddy, and he realizes, how long have you been listening, Officer Goodchild?
Long enough. Long enough that I fucking kicked down the door.
Right. And how much of this
All I
sounds
know is that
plausible?
you guys are all involved in Becca's death somehow, whether or not some weird, crazy, ghosty things are involved.
Witches.
Witches. Are you gonna get
Freddy
up
just
off the
mumbled.
floor? Yeah. Are you gonna get up off the floor?
Are you going to shoot me in the back of the head?
She holsters the gun.
He sits up.
I might. I'm kidding.
So, it's a bit of a tense situation, but then, officer, maybe you are aware of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to stop.
You can call me Jen.
Jen. would
Becca was a
you
friend of
perhaps-
mine back home. I
Yeah.
found about how she died. I'm coming. Sorry, I came here to figure out. What?
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 What are you doing?
I said friend.
Yeah, we grew up together.
Okay.
And then she came here to go to school. And she flashes the badge again. And it's a real badge, but it's for Boulder Police Department.
I see. I knew Becca, and my condolences for your loss.
You were at her place 2 weeks ago. Good. You were about to hand a letter to her, but you didn't.
I was not aware of her passing at the time. I was supposed to deliver, or I was intending to deliver the same letter that this fine gentleman got to summon her here to request her aid. Because, like you, Jen, I want to protect the ones I love, and I want to try to find out the truth about what happens. But I have other problems. I have other things that I need to do, places I need to be, and he looks mostly like at the corner of his eyes over to Danny. People I cannot be associated with at the moment.
All right.
So
Well, they all seem like stand-up gentlemen. And she eyes everybody.
Whilst Teddy is explaining that, Freddy's digging in his bag and pulls out a book on witches. And he goes to Jen and goes, if you'd like to learn more, we can spend some time a bit later and I can explain all about witches.
Are you
They
hitting
are
on me?
real. No,
He's
I'm
not.
educating you.
I promise. He's actually not.
You're not my type, okay? So
I never said I was. I'm teaching you about witches.
It's because her
You
type.
see, there's a lot of
her
things
type
that you
is
don't see in the
girls.
real world.
what?
What?
What was that?
I don't. I had
He
a
makes a lot
tickle.
of noise. You should
in
just
my
ignore him
throat.
sometimes. But
I mean, he
Witches are
does hit
real.
on everyone. He hit on me in the bar.
I was getting an autograph. But if you don't like witches, I can always talk to you about aliens.
Okay.
All right. So, you know,
But there's
Here it
strange things
is.
out there. And here's the problem. We're trying to find out what killed Becca as well, but we don't know because it's strange shit. And it might be an answer in a book. We never know. Telling you it's witches.
Or as
Or aliens.
Teddy was suggesting, the answer might be in the hospital.
yeah. So, you know, we're investigating some weird
So we're going
shit.
to the hospital then. She cuts him
Yeah,
off.
we're doing
going
your
to-
work for you. We're
is-
investigating bad people doing bad things.
Well,
Which
if
is-
you think you're going without me, if we're gonna find out what happened to Becca, I'm coming too.
Well, it's about time you did your job. Come with us. We'll show you how it's done.
What? How have you survived this long, all of you? You just gonna let the crazy gun-wielding door kicker just come with us?
I don't deal with a lot of people.
All right, that makes sense.
They could chase her instead of me.
She looks you up and down.
All
I'm pretty sure I can outrun you, even in my
He-
heels.
He will offer you up at the earliest opportunity.
Yeah, he's tried to kill me several times.
Didn't try and kill you. I just said they could take you.
You just offered other people to kill me.
So
Witches.
is that how this is now?
You know,
Witches. And he shows the book again.
Hides behind the.
So, if you'd like to come investigate witches' ghosts and a ghost witch disease with us, I guess we're just fucking letting everyone join up.
And she steps towards the bag of disguises. Like, did you? She's like, she rummages through the bag. Did you buy this at Spirit of Halloween?
No, MacGyver got it for us, and he points to Teddy.
I tried to help you, and
What did you binge
rummage
watch Columbo and then just fucking put everything in a bag?
Actually,
I should have died in the mall.
in the bag,
Right.
as you rummage it through, you can find that there's $1,000 in different notes, like 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. There is like black rope, about a good 100 feet of it. There's one of those, what do you call it? The climbing thing you have where you can like.
Carabiners.
Oh, carabiner?
Carabiners,
Yeah.
yeah, carabiners. Thank you. So there's carabiners and like, not climbing equipment as such, but like rope and carabiners. And you see there's some different kinds of clothing. It's just random brands of shirts and pants and stuff. And then there's like I said, like clown makeup, like the kind of makeup that severely alters your exterior, but it's more high grade. So it's not like from the local Halloween shop. It's more like you get for like a movie production.
Okay. The stuff that usually you have to know how to use properly.
Yes. So he's got you supplies that none of you really know how to use, but you have like professional grade makeup to alter your exterior. So this is his kind of like, I'm helping.
Is he though? And she's gonna. And she's gonna look to the others. Well, they don't know me, so I don't need any of this.
Right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a phone call.
Her hand reaches to her.
Don't shoot me!
Who are you calling? Who are you calling?
You're not a cop here! Eat shit! And he pulls out his phone. Starts beep, boop, beep. Fucking kicking in doors, taking my gun. I'll shoot you in the... I won't, I'm just kidding. And he is going to call a contact, Iquin.
A contact.
A contact.
Fine.
Yeah, we're gonna improv a contact here.
Aaron Contact.
Aaron Contact.
Aaron Contact. Yeah, that is now canon. I hope everyone in chat remembers this name. Aaron Contact.
He is calling. Let's see here. I have a list of good mafia names. He's calling. Iacone Danger DeMeo, which is...
Sure, I will never remember that name, so I will just try to remember Danger in this sense.
Don't worry, I'll copy it for you. I have a whole list. I prepped for this session.
Well, thank you.
Just for you,
nice.
buddy. So
who are you, and what did you do to Mike?
I told you he was fired, and I'm his replacement. Is what it is. So he's calling essentially to... the mafia is all over the place, and not that Danny's a member of that. But
definitely not.
There may be personnel that we have in hospitals or in maintenance or in water treatment who can get us close to the hospital or into the hospital. So he's going to try to play some crime games over here. I don't know what kind of role that would be. So.
A role to have a contact,
or to have a contact in that kind of space.
I would say that the only real thing that makes sense for me at this point would be luck. That is like the luck of that your contact actually has a contact or works in this particular field and can help you with this particular task.
Sure, let's roll luck. See what happens. Holy shit!
Yes.
Get wrecked.
What a criminal.
Excuse me.
Yes. You place a call, before this goes off the rails again, you place a call to your contact, Danger, whatever his name was. I just want to call him Aaron Contact now. He does know a guy. he answers. You give no names from him, no names from you. You just tell him the things that you need to say so they can verify that you're from the correct family. Then he will ask you what your business is. You will tell him exactly in a very short amount of words that you need to get into the Boston General Hospital, and you need help setting that up. And you get the name Mickey back.
Okay.
Then the call ends.
Okay. All right. So we're not going to need any costumes. This isn't a fucking show and tell here. So I have a friend in. It doesn't matter. So I have a friend and he has a friend, and that friend works in the hospital. So they're gonna let us in.
You're just
I'm
gonna.
not sure if you know this, but you can just walk into hospitals.
Yeah, we're wanted. I don't know
No
if
one
you
knows who
watched.
I am.
And there's a description of all of us.
There's lots of
He
people
is-
who look this good.
He is forgettable.
What?
He is forgetting.
She's gonna.
He's got that kind of look. You just want to forget you ever met him.
That is true.
Thanks, Macca.
No worries, Rico.
So we're gonna just wait it out, and then we're gonna go to the hospital, and he's gonna leave a door open at night or whatever, and then we're gonna slip in. Right?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
So
And
how long
she's
do we
good.
have?
It's daytime, so a couple hours.
Okay.
What are you just reading?
He pulls out 2 books, one on witches and one on ghosts, and hands them to Jen and goes, there was lots of talk about witches and ghosts. You need to do your research ready before we go in there, and you get surprised and then go, what's this crazy stuff that's killing everyone? Do your
You know,
research.
reading Rainbow, why don't you research yourself, right? Because there's witches.
I've read this.
Shut up! There's witches, and there's the shadow thing, and the stabby faces, and all we know is that they are here, and they stabbed us. And
Macca was doing research on that. That's Macca's field.
If you've done research, can you give us a short presentation?
Please, thank you.
Have you got slides?
Could you find the witch ghost killing gun?
I mean, no?
Then what are good is all these books?
You need to know what you're fighting before you go there and then get surprised with, oh no. we're
Really,
all
because
gonna
you were
die."
very surprised when they started stabbing us, or when the shadow came out and tried to eat your face. You ran, and you screamed like a girl.
Technically, yes, that's because they were coming to try and kill me. Because you went and angered them.
No! I asked them what they were
just
doing.
killing other people, and then you went and got involved.
In fairness, I've researched
saying
the shadow thing, and I don't think it was related to the witches.
Great.
There's some sort of
So-
weird corruption in the area.
I understand. So now that you know that we're fighting shadows and ghost witches, what do we fucking do about it?
I'm thinking about moving to Michigan. Michigan's great. I'm going to go there. It's safe.
She's like, no one likes Michigan.
I've heard that Michigan isn't the best place. I heard it kind of
But
sucks.
there's no witches there.
I don't know
I
that
hope.
that's true.
I haven't read any books about it.
Google it. It's on the internet. It can't be a lie.
Can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Can't be
Teddy once again clears his throat a bit and says, well, I need to leave. And he has a fairly expensive wristwatch that he checks and is like, sorry, but I've arranged with supplies. I'm going to stop down at the front desk and make sure that no questions are asked about the door, Miss Jen. And please, he takes out 3 sets of keys because he wasn't planning on you, Jen. So you have 3 sets of keys to this door, and he sort of drops them there. I hope they can fix the door without changing the lock, but I will make arrangements to have you being able to access this place if you need it. A base of operations, I think it's called. Please don't call me. Don't contact me. I will contact you because, yes, I cannot be seen involved in this. And he started to make his way, as he says this, towards the door. And as he stands in front of the door, he sort of nods to all of you and takes his leave unless somebody wants to stop him.
I didn't even realize he was still here.
No.
Can't be after he's gone. She can't be involved in an investigation about his own daughter's death. What a weird fuck.
You never mind. Anyway, and he just sort of flops down on the bed next to the pile of shit. Might as well wait it out.
How long so what time of day is it, Eichmann? Is it daytime?
It's actually like afternoon, evening, because he wouldn't bring you here at daytime in the middle of a day. He'd rather have you here in the nighttime where it's much easier. So it's not like midnight, but we're looking at around 8 p.m.
Okay. And so then she'll put it down. Like, so how long are we
I'm sorry
your
if that was
contract?
not particularly clear, but yes, it is about 8 p.m.
I just assumed it was nighttime because that's when all stakeouts kind of happen. So
Yeah, in my mind it was as well. It was nighttime because he doesn't want people to see him with you. So nighttime, because you can't see shit in darkness.
That's what they want you to think, Eichmann.
I have
Macca
night vision.
goes over to the
That's why all the
mini
stakeouts
bar.
are at night.
Minibar, pulls out a
I'm
couple
a
of
cop.
bottles, throws one to Danny.
Oh. Thunk. That'll work.
So how-
I figure 8 o'clock is probably like a shift change, right? So after that, so maybe like 10. That's when like the night crew comes in. And it seems like I know a lot about the hospital right now, and that seems suspicious. So I'm just going to say 10 o'clock.
Well, based on the conversation I heard outside the door, you're all suspicious. So
Well, you're an out-of-town cop that just kicked in a door for no reason because your girlfriend died in a mall. So I don't want to
she
hear
was
about
not my girlfriend. She was nobody's girlfriend apparently.
She wasn't. Sound a
Seems
little
like
bitter
something a
about
lot
it.
of people say.
She
So
was not.
you would know that you are currently on the outskirts of Boston in the sleazy neighborhoods because nobody asks questions here, enough money provided. And Boston General Hospital, the ones that has been in the news for this illness and the one that you are targeting, is more of a centralized hospital. It's one of those kind of, small at the base but high kind of buildings, so that it fits more in the center of town. So there is a good 45 minutes to an hour of car driving to get there, because you can't drive just, straight. You have to go the whole road network and all that shit. So there's at least an hour to get there from where you are now.
So we're in the seedy part. So we're in Southie then, right? Isn't that the seedy part?
Sure. I don't actually know Boston, so that's with the unspecified seedy parts of outskirts of Boston where seedy is.
There's
So
a lot
wherever
of
it is.
seedy. There's a
I'm
lot
sorry
of
to the
seedy-
entirety of Boston right now. Sorry, Boston.
There's a lot of
Right.
seedy parts in Boston. Southie is just where the Irish seedy side is.
go.
The North End has a seedy part, and that's all the Italians. But Boston General is in like the center of Boston. So yeah, it would take like 30 minutes to get there.
Mike's the only
So-
American. Just full disclaimer here.
And I'm like I'm from adjacent to that area. So
Yeah, and I've never set foot, and I have no idea where any geography is, so I just make it up, and I hope I'm right.
it's not like
guess
you
I
could
always do.
Google it. Jeez, Eichmann.
No,
You know,
I can't.
have you ever heard of fucking they have Google in Sweden? You know, apparently they got it in
doesn't exist here.
Romania.
Nope. No idea what you're talking about. What is this Google?
Never seen it before. Get on your cellular device. Yeah. So no, we can head out in about. I don't even have a watch on. I just keep looking to see if anyone's going to call it out. About an hour, I would say.
She's gonna turn on the TV. Well, first she's gonna ask. So, what's this about this weird illness? Like, do we need like
Oh.
hazmat suits?
You turn on the TV, and what do you know? Even it's the 8 o'clock news, because apparently they send news at 8 o'clock in my world, in my America. Thank you very much. Don't have to Google anything. And the news talk about a lot of stuff, but I will keep it to the interesting parts of the news here. The illness is still spreading. It's affecting clusters of people, so usually a whole household. Doctors and the CDC has yet to make any recommendations because they haven't figured out how the illness spreads. It doesn't seem to be airborne, doesn't seem to be go by water, doesn't seem to be by like sneezing or coughing. they're kind of stumped at how this works at all. You also see that there are some cases of recovery, but the Boston General Hospital just claims that patient confidentiality tells that they can't tell them anything. So they won't even release numbers, groups, or anything, just bone hard claiming patient confidentiality about it. But it has leaked to the news that there is some people getting better and getting out. They have also set up a special ward at the Boston General Hospital to treat this. And the current ruling from the town officials are that anyone that matches the symptoms of this illness needs to be apprehended and taken by ambulance or any some good means over to the hospital, because the illness symptoms is that the victim starts to sort of go into a dreamlike state where they can walk around, but they are sleepwalking. They don't respond to inputs. They sort of just wander around aimlessly. And there have been incidents where people have just walked right into traffic. Like they've made it and such, but there have been such incidents, which meant that anyone that's starting to exhibit these symptoms needs to go to this special unit to be taken care of, because they're a hazard right at this point. They don't have any physical markings or anything like that. There's nothing visual that you can see. It's the behavior that they go by. That's the news for you.
That's fucked up. She turns it off.
So, what's your plan here?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to find out what happened to Becca and possibly find her killer. I don't know. I just found out she died, and her parents, the cops aren't telling her parents anything about how she died. So I came to try and figure it out.
You know, I'm a little concerned about the fact about how many times we've said the words ghost and witches, and you haven't flinched one time. So, that's weird. Secondly, she died because she got killed by a ghost witch. So, it stabbed her to death.
I mean, technically it's a witch's ghost rather than a ghost witch.
I think we're saying
Just
the
to
same.
be technical.
I think we're saying the same thing.
That seems like an important detail.
I don't. Okay, so it also, see, and he lifts his shirt up, as you can see under his ribs. That's a knife wound there, pretty fresh, right? Probably about 13 days old, right? And then, don't worry about it. And then he rolls his shoulder down, and another one right here in my shoulder blade. That was also a similar knife about 13 days ago, because I got stabbed by ghost witches.
Again, you don't see any wounds or marks of wounds there. And a reminder to Mike, you didn't actually get stab wounds. You just were left with the pain. No blood, no markings, no nothing.
Listen.
So you have been recovering from invisible stab wounds.
He can't
Stabbed
see
himself.
that. So he has just assumed that he has them and is pointing them out to her. So I got...
you see nothing.
Right.
You see
so
skin.
I got stabbed by a ghost witch, and I bled out everywhere. It was pretty terrible. She got stabbed to death.
Her face kind of hardens.
Right. The doctor got stabbed as well. He got stabbed. And Fred
ran
away, and he screamed like a girl.
How come you got stabbed and you're still standing here? And this time she's gonna as he's pulling his shirt, she's gonna poke the non-existent wound. There's nothing there.
For fuck's sake, it's a ghost knife. What are you not getting? It's a ghost witch.
So how come you're alive and Becca's dead?
You're a trash cup. So if one person gets shot in the leg, they got shot. And if one person gets shot in the head, they got shot too. But one of them died and one of them didn't. Read the book.
You're stabbed with a ghost knife?
Yeah, in the rib and in the shoulder. She got stabbed in the chest. Arteries are read a rainbow. Give her a book on anatomy, please.
She's gonna walk to Macca and do you have more of those bottles?
Yeah, he goes to the bar and gives her a vodka.
Okay. She takes it and drinks it.
Yep. You will also remember, is maybe not Danny, since he seemed to be buying into that he actually has stab wounds, but the not a mob doctor, and definitely not a horse doctor that took care of you was very confused about that you had pain and you showed internal symptoms of damage, but you had no actual stab wounds.
You say he was a horse doctor?
I'm not saying that he's a horse doctor. That's exactly what I'm not saying.
What a random animal to choose.
He was given his ivermectin prescription.
Yeah, he injected me with ivermectin. I get cured of ghost knife and COVID at the same time. Oh, Jesus. Don't take ivermectin, guys. That's a PSA from Unmade Gaming. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Yeah, so, when you get stabbed in different places, you could die or not. If I stab you in the leg, you might not die, but if I hit your artery, you might.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Macca will look at Jen and say, you're a cop. What did the police report say?
Nothing. It was inconclusive. Or cause of death unknown.
Well, then, doesn't that match with our non-existent wounds?
It's an explanation, if you can call it that.
Yeah, I'd call it an explanation.
The problem is the world isn't ready for this sort of information to come out, so they just bury it. The government generally tries to hide all this real information from people like yourself, just because you're not quite at the enlightened level. Danny's getting there, really slowly. But
I don't know if he's taking the piss. Or if he's serious.
I mean, you believe in ghosts and witches now, right? You didn't believe
because I got
that before.
stabbed by one.
I'm a cop. I think he believes what he's saying.
Yeah, I believe I got
When
stabbed.
you look at that,
Generally don't believe
with all the bickering and the news and everything, it's time to leave now.
It's so weird, Iquin. I don't know.
We're just waiting for our phone call.
Does anyone have a car?
Yeah, I have my rental.
Great. To the car.
Bicycle.
Freddy
has a bicycle.
Sorry, do you say you have a bicycle?
Yep.
What?
I'll drop you back off here afterwards. I don't have a bike rack.
He doesn't have it with him. We came from the same place. We all came from the my house. And he didn't have a bicycle with him. Why is that relevant? You know what? I don't care.
You asked who has a car.
I don't
said,
care.
Don't have a car, own a bicycle. Why would I drive when I can just ride my bicycle with a little button and stick my stuff in the... Don't need a car all the time, Dan. That's
Okay.
just for getaways.
Wow, let's go.
And witches ride bikes. Haven't you seen that movie with the red shoes?
Right.
That's brooms.
She does ride a
That's
bike.
brooms.
She does ride a bike when she was in Kansas, right? She was like, hey,
Let's
here,
go!
I'll
And
take
she
it.
turns
All
and she leaves
right.
the room.
On the way out, Macca grabs that bag of disguises and other equipment, random equipment.
Sure. Yeah. You get a blue shirt, brown pants, and a blonde wig. There you go.
You realize that as you pick it up, it feels exactly $1,000 later.
Because Jen has taken that cash.
Oh, I was going to say, because Danny took it.
Because she went through it and that's
Yeah.
what he described it.
Yep.
One of you will have the cash. I don't really care because the drive there goes off without a hitch. You can drive the car. You don't seem to be followed. You, Jen, especially, who knows how to tail people, know that you seem to just be driving. Nobody seems to be following you. Nobody pays you that much mind. You arrive to the hospital in the city-ish center, and I have too many stuff up here, but let's see. Right, I forgot. There we go. I need to pull you over there, and then whatever. You arrive at the hospital, and like I said, the ground floor is a bit wider than the building itself. So you have like a reception area that seems to be like what's outstanding in the front, and you have an ambulance area that's outstanding in the back, and then the like middle one is the towering up. So you have like each floor is the skyscraping kind of part, and there's 5 floors in total for this building. and the ground floor is where they have extended out the building to make room for more of, people need to come and go places, and the other places are more only for hospital personnel and patients. I would say that you arrive in the parking lot. You are sort of in the main parking lot. It's large enough, and even though it's late, I mean, it's a around the clock ER kind of hospital, so they are open, of course, they are. And you see like one or two arriving, and then you have on the opposite end of the building that is sort of shielded from your view at the moment, but it's very nicely guided with signs and everything that the ambulance entrance is on the back of the building.
All right, so we got to go around back, right? And there's like a loading dock, and he'll let us in there.
Okay. And she's gonna drive around and then park somewhere, and then they'll walk up to the hospital.
Sure.
The loading dock.
Easily done. You park the car, and the four of you start to head up towards the ambulance entrance from the back. And as you make it up, you see that there's an ambulance parked there at the moment, and there's a man standing sort of leaning against the wall next to a door. So you have this little like loading bay part where the ambulance drives up, and you can sort of roll people in, and then there's the the automatic doors and a light that shines down on that part so you can see what you're doing. And this guy is standing like next to those sets of doors, and it looks like he's having a smoke.
Oi! Hey, mate. Do you know?
He looks up.
Do you know anyone by the name of Mickey?
I'm Mickey.
Perfect.
Boss called, said you'd be around.
Yeah.
$100.
Great. Duffel bag. Where's the duffel bag?
Macca will hand it over.
And it is $1,000 in here. Where's the money?
Oh,
Don't look at me.
And she
Check your pockets.
reaches into her
I'm
thing
the
and
criminal.
pulls out $100.
Did you steal the
Yeah.
badge too? You crook.
Hey,
Shut up!
Be quiet. Give me the money. Okay, thanks. He takes it, sort of pockets it down. He looks over all four of you and like, wait here. Don't cause any commotions. Go grab some scrubs, and I'll be back in a minute. And he walks inside.
Yeah, Freddy, shut up.
Here are the scrubs.
No, he said he's gonna
So-
grab some scrubs.
Oh,
About a minute later, the guy walks out from the door holding like, four piles of folded up scrubs in respective sizes. So like he looked you over for size, and then he went to and he sort of hands out one scrub to you each, and he sort of gives you the scrubs. He looks at you and is like, ladies are to the left, men are to the right. You go through the door on the other side of the locker room after changing. You keep your head down, do your business. We've never met. And then he lights another smoke and starts to like walk away to the other side of the ambulance so you can't be seen together.
All right. And he heads in.
Yep. Yeah, she'll just go and change.
Yeah. So easily you change in the locker rooms. Right now there's not a shift change and no one's there. You're left alone. The doors on the other side are unlocked because you need to have the key card to enter on the front door, which Mickey has, and he lets you in. But he only has his key card. Couldn't fix key cards on this short notice. So you can walk in through the doors, no problem, because they open from your side and into the hospital. Getting back out is a problem because they don't open from the hospital side into the locker rooms again. But you are in a hallway, and to your right the hallway ends, and like after the men's locker room it ends over there. To your left you get to the little like elevator area, that is like you have the front desk and where people are waiting, and then slightly behind the front desk you walk by it, you have the elevator area where you have like all the elevators to go to the different floors. There are currently 5 elevators, 3 on one wall and 2 on the other. And one of them is one of those, larger to move beds.
So have we met back up again?
Yes. Sorry. You are in this hallway, all of you outside the locker rooms.
Okay, what's the plan?
Unless you want to do something in the locker rooms where I guess
Did McCarthy specify where he needed to go? Or where
he
we
did
needed
not.
to go?
No.
He only specified that there was a ward set up specifically for this type of illness, but he didn't know too much about it because he can't be at the hospital for whatever reason.
Do we know where we're going?
And she also has her gun tucked under her scrubs, like in the back band of her pants.
Sure. Yep, sure.
I'm guessing there's a quarantine ward or something like that we need to find.
Yeah.
Is there anything like on a sign next to the elevators showing floors and?
Of course there is, because this is a hospital. It shows that every floor has one or more wards in different ones, but very easily picked out. You can see that the top floor, the 5th floor, has special like a taped over, and it just reads ward for exotic diseases. Like there were several wards, but it's just been taped over with ward for this exotic diseases, and it's the whole floor now.
I'm going to say the 5th floor.
Right. All right. So, ding.
And when they get inside the elevator, she's gonna kind of sidle up to Freddy a little bit, and so, assuming that these are witches, or
Yes.
witch ghosts.
The ghosts of witches. Yes.
Yes. What how do we kill them? How do we take them out? How do we stop them?
We have to get them into a controlled space, and then we can send them to hell.
Sounds easy enough.
Yeah.
I will say
You
here
could
that it takes you a couple of seconds while you have this conversation, but you notice that the buttons don't actually work on the elevator. They don't do anything. They light up and then they close back down, and there's a little, keypad next to them. Key cards.
Right. We didn't get key cards. Just the scrubs. You know what?
I have mechanical repair. Does that work in this instance to hack the keypad?
That's electrical repair, but you could dismantle the elevator if you want to.
Don't shoot it, please.
I wasn't gonna shoot it.
I don't know.
I don't just discharge my firearm and all willy nilly.
Give me a second. You know what? Actually, you're a lady. My idea: go in the ladies' room, the locker room. I'll go in the other one, and just search through the lockers, and see if there's a key card. If someone left work, they threw their card in their locker, and they went home for the day.
Yeah, fair enough.
Think smarter, not harder. And he mumbles as he walks away towards the men's room.
She rolls her eyes.
Don't talk to
Well-
anyone. You don't sound like a doctor.
That is a very interesting point, that don't talk to anyone, because we did get some corruption, and I love that we had. As you exit,
Who did that?
the persons at the reception seem to notice you and actually take notice of you for the first time, since you are a group of people walking together in scrubs, and you don't really seem to know what's going on and how to operate the building.
There's
And-
Becca.
She's an elderly lady. You would guess around 50, maybe even turning up to 60. Gray hair, nice tight bun. Has the front desk kind of. It's not scrubs, but it's like the uniform you have working front desk, working clothes. She has her key card dangling in those whatever they call, like keychain, but for your neck. And she comes over and asks, "Excuse me, which ward are you with?"
Oh, hi. Yeah, no, my name is, it's Danny O'Lee. I'm actually a foreign, I'm not from here, as you can hear by my voice. I'm with the psych ward, and these are my residents. We were doing rounds, but it appears as though the elevator wasn't working. So I was gonna go see someone about that. Have you noticed that the elevator went down recently? I've only just been assigned here.
Okay. I would say that you need to have, what is it, deception in this one?
Persuade?
I know it's a persuasion. There's a persuade. I can't remember I think it's I can't remember. There's so many games and so many different ones, and everyone renames them. Oh, I think it's Persuade. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Him at all?
It's fun. Sure. You can both try to roll Persuade. How do you want to help him?
And sir, how did he introduce himself?
As Danny O'Lee.
Danny O'Lee, like Dr. Danny O'Lee?
Mhm.
Okay, and then she'll just be like, yes, Dr. O'Lee.
Right. See, have you heard? Has the elevator been broken? I mean, I'll take the stairs. I'm a relatively fit guy, but you know, it's a long walk up there. So
She's no, the elevator hasn't been broken. Where have you swiped your badge first?
oh no, I haven't gotten one yet. Maybe that's the key. That's the issue.
Oh, okay, fine. And she's seems a bit confused, but I mean, you're a strapping young lad. She, in her eyes, and she and
It's
I mean,
quite dapper.
she has a lot of do. She has a lot of she has a lot to do. Thank you, Mal. So she's going to go like, oh no, the psych word you said, that's on 4. Of course, I will just beep you up. Please make sure that your doctor describe you a key card for future, and she sort of pushes all of you into the elevator, swipes her card and presses 4 and leaves.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, you get up to the 4th floor at least.
Yeah. Macca will quickly try to press 5. Does it activate for 5 as well?
It does not, because this is a corruption bar.
All right. So I got us this far. So let's figure that out.
Stairs?
Yeah.
I would imagine if the elevator has a key card access, that the door to get to the stairs would probably have the same kind of thing, right?
Fire stairs wouldn't have keycard access.
Normally the doors only unlock when the alarms go off.
Right.
I mean,
The
you can
door
start a
sort
fire,
of
but it's not a good idea.
and opens as you've reached the 4th floor. You're met with 2 people, very large. They look kind of like either nurses or orderlies, but they are dressed from head to toe in operating scrubs. They have the face covered in a face mask. They have the hair mask thing on, gloves, you know, the green scrubs that is completely covering every inch of their body. They also seem to have some kind of, not face shield, but rather goggles, sort of to protect their eyesight over their eyes. And they sort of stand there quietly, not really blocking. You could pass in between them, but it would be awkward. But they stand there looking at you very intently.
Danny pulls a Leonardo DiCaprio, takes a step back and goes, "Doctor?" Like, letting them enter the elevator. Doctor.
They don't seem to answer. One of them sort of pulls up a hand and grabs the elevator to prevent it from closing again. Then you hear a sound that could only be reminiscent of low-key growling coming from them.
Okay, boys, maybe this is the wrong floor. And she kind of presses the button to close the door. Whether or not their hand is still there or not.
What's your book say about that?
Freddy's right up in the back with his back against the wall.
Oh, nothing to say about books now.
Nothing about bullies. Books don't talk about bullies.
Iquin, do they have keycards around their neck?
They do have key cards around their neck.
Macca will just say, could you buzz us up to 5? We're wanted upstairs.
They start to move closer to you, especially the 2 in front.
How many guys are there?
The two of them.
Okay.
4 of you. They look to be very, like, they are 6 feet, maybe even 6'2" or something. They are big people. You would guess that they're guys. You don't know because they're, completely scrubbed. You can't really see any features of them at all, more than that they are large-bodied. And when I say large-bodied, I mean muscle, nothing else. There's no, there doesn't seem to be an inch of fat on them. They just seem to be very strong. As they've been here for a small minute now, you can all and start to smell something. And I would say make me an intelligence roll, all of you. It's just a regular intelligence. Okay, no.
Intelligence.
No.
Yay.
Yes. And no. The three of you might not be into the business as much, so you don't recognize the smell. It's awful and weird. You, however, as a cop, might have been on a murder scene, and you recognize the smell of decay coming from them.
Oh yeah, she would definitely know that smell. So there's 4 of us, 2 of them. They're on the bigger side, and they're blocking the door.
And they are slowly starting to move closer to you, and you can hear them speak, if that's what the yapping gibberish sound can be. It's very low key, and it's like a growling that gets interrupted by a
Are they in the door?
They're sort of in the door. They're keeping the elevator door from closing, and they're slowly advancing on you.
Okay.
I'm thinking I want.
Like I said, there's enough room that you could force your way through, but in between them, it would be like an awkward shoulder tackling your way out. But there is, since there are only 2 of them, there's enough room if you want to try to make a run for it. It would be very obvious that that's what you're doing, though.
No, Danny looks to, he like looks around and realizes that we have like an old guy, a bookworm, this cop, and him. And he like looks to Macca, who was at the button. He says, "Oi, you want to grab that real quick?" And he like points to the lanyard that has the card on it. He says, Jen, was it? And you see him put his hands on that railing that's at the back of elevators, and he sort of presses his back against it. He says, "On a count of 3," and you can see that he has like planted his one foot, and he's getting ready to kick the other guy in the chest to try to kick them both out of the elevator while Dr. Macleod grabs the security card.
She will ready herself to do the same.
As you do ready yourself to do all of this, you hear a voice, not from these 2, but a voice that you can't see who it emanates from. But you hear "What's going on over here? What? Hello?" And you can see that from around the corner, so that you can look further into the hospital. And you can see that there's a man coming. He's not in all green scrubs. He's rather have the key card, a white, one of those lab coats, doctor coats. Let's say he has the stethoscope thing just because it's super funny. And he comes around the corner saying, "What's going on here?"
"Oh, these gentlemen stepped onto the elevator and they're trying to go upstairs to floor 5. So we're letting them...
Floor 5?
Letting them in."
I'm sorry. And he looks to both of the large green nurse guys, and he says more like, "Stand down," to them, and they take a step back, but he keeps holding his hand on the elevator door so it won't close, but they seem to like take a step back and relax on his orders. 5? These do not go to 5. Who are you?
"Oh, my name is Dr. O'Lee. I'm in the psych ward. We were just getting off. These guys were getting on, but they were kind of we had that little shuffle, where someone's trying to get on and we're trying to get off, and it was that awkward exchange. You've seen that before. That's a thing. It's in movies, I think, right? So I'm from Ireland, and it's my first day here, and they've assigned me these brand new residents, and I don't have a badge, so I was told to come up here to the psych ward and get myself a badge. And then
who do you report to?
That's the thing, is I just got assigned here. It's my first day, so I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Would you please come with me? I think we need to sort this out, and I need to call whoever it is that you're supposed to report to, because I haven't been briefed on any new doctors coming to the psych ward. Please come with me to my office.
Sure. And you are?
And he sort of starts to move. I am Dr. O'Malley, the head of the psych ward.
Oh, so then I would imagine it would be you that I'm coming to see.
Yes, and I do wonder why you are not in my list of people that I'm expecting, and also why you show up at 10 at night.
I thought it was strange too, but they said it's an all-hours hospital, so, imagine 24 hours, the clock doesn't really matter at that point, right?
Is he
He
also
starts to
wearing a
move-
key card?
Yeah, he's also wearing a key card in one of those, what is it called, lanyards?
Yeah.
Is that a word? Yeah. So he has like a lanyard with a key card on it. And he's sort of now moving away, starting to turn to move and sort of waving for you all to follow him. And his nurses seem to be very intent on you following that order.
So we just also established that any staircase would also have a locked door, correct?
You think so. You haven't been over to examine the staircase. So you don't know, but it's likely since hospitals comes with security, so no patient can't just walk around willy-nilly and get into the restricted areas. Like a ward that is closed down because of airborne disease, for example. That would be kind of bad.
Mm-hmm. And you said I need electrical repair to
hack things. It's electrical repair.
Okay.
Mechanical repair is like something
Cars
mechanical is
and stuff.
busted. Yeah, cars, or like if the doors won't close, you can sort of fix something so they mechanically close. But to hack the elevator electrical system, you need electrical repair.
Yeah, I don't. My electrical repair is only 10, so I don't think I can do it.
Well, the nurses are staying with you, looking that intently stare at you, and you can start hearing that low-key growling sound coming back from them.
So, on 3...
Yep. On 3, we will go with them.
Right! 1, 2, 3!
And then we'll kick them.
Sure.
Yeah, Macca will lunge for both lanyards if they're kind of both within grasp to see which one he can get.
Sure. We will go into the initiative order. So the one with the highest dex goes first. And my guys have a dex of 65.
I also have 65.
I'm 75.
Okay. So you are definitely first. If I can let go of this window, thank you. What's the dex for the other two?
60.
And 65.
60?
60
Okay.
as well.
So, Jen, you begin. Then I will let Danny go since you're surprising. Then the two guys will go, and then last, you two can decide who goes on the 60. So, Jen, what did you want to do? You're pushing away.
Yeah, this is all simultaneous in a sense, right? So I'm not going to kick him away before Mac has a
Yeah,
chance
no,
to grab him.
this will be simultaneously, but I need some kind of order here.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so she's gonna brawl and kick him in the chest to try and push him out of the doorway.
Right. Roll me brawl.
Yes.
Nice. He will be surprised by that, and let's see. He will try to do the easiest dodge, and
No, he won't. He will not dodge.
well,
99. Give me a 99.
Okay, whatever. I can't. There is not clickable, so I will just roll 1d100, and their dodge is 40. So yeah, he fails. You kick him.
Oh, Iquin, did you build them character sheets?
Yeah, like
on the
there is
top,
the character sheets from.
Are the character sheets in Roll20?
The character sheets are from the compendium in Roll20, so I didn't do them myself.
Oh, okay, I got you. Never mind.
That's sort of I don't know, but they're apparently not clickable when you let Roll20 do it. But it doesn't matter. Their dodge skill is 40, so they did not succeed. You kick them. They are surprised. They did not know that you were going to kick them. You hit. You miss. You cannot push in combat because you get 1. Then you have to wait till the next. So,
yeah, he kicks, and it is a solid kick to the chest, and that guy does not move.
He does not move. They are very solid. You also feel that he's very solid, but in your case, you can deal damage for your kick. It should be on the combat.
Oh, let me see. Oh, for G.
My damage bonus is 0, so.
Okay then.
My strength isn't high enough.
Well, you kick him and he takes a step back, but you don't have enough force behind you, and his body is you feel on impact, it's very solid. This is weird solid. And he doesn't seem to scream out in pain. He doesn't seem to mind. You can still just hear that, when you kick him, he has to make a sound mechanically. His body needs to, and that's all the sound you get out from him before that growling comes back. And he looks at you.
Can I argue with you that since I wasn't trying to do damage, that I could literally like shove him away from the elevator?
Oh yeah, you can. That's a maneuver. Fighting maneuvers are also allowed, and it's the same skill.
Okay.
So you don't even need to reroll. You fighting maneuver him instead. That's no damage. But yeah, you shove him. You feel that he is way much more solid than you thought. But you got a pretty solid hit in there, and he takes like 2 steps back. A normal person would probably drop to the floor from that, but he just takes 2 steps and he stands there. Danny tries to do the same, and he just like slams in and takes a step, and Danny takes a step back instead and be like, whoa. We move over. Frederick and Macca, your guys.
Macca will see that Jen had the most success in beating up one of these guys, so he'll reach for the lanyard on the guy that Jen hit.
Yep, I will call that a maneuver as well, as you try to grab something off of him in a combat scenario. So roll me a brawl to be able to sort of fetch it as the simultaneous time that they two try to push them away. Nope, you try to reach for it, but you reach and it just sort of flies out of your reach. And Frederick?
Frederick is going to press the ground button on the elevator.
Sure, you can do that. That one lights up.
That's all he's doing. He's going to whack that button, so you keep mashing it to make it go down.
So to give you a good picture of it, the doctor guy is further back. He's going to get into the foray, or the fray, as you may call it, this next round.
Freddy
and
really
then
is the worst.
and then the one guy that Danny couldn't move, he's standing in the way, like he's like right outside the doors, but he was not the one holding the doors. The one holding the doors was the one taking 2 steps back. So you have on the opposite side, outside the elevator, is now Jen, this other dude, because you pushed and he went a bit back. You have the other nurse who's standing outside, and you have Danny inside the elevator. Macca tried to grab but couldn't reach as the other guy went out of reach for him, but his arm is out, like in the space in the elevator. And Frederick, you're inside the elevator. It will start to close in like 2 turns, because it's that delay. You press the button and it waits, and then it starts to try to close. So 2 turns, the doors will start to try to close. We're moving to the top. Jen, what is your thinking doing here? You are muted, I think. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, yeah. Did you say that I'm outside the elevator?
You are outside the elevator since you pushed him and he moved back. So you're like 1 step on the other side of the doors. Not far, just a step outside.
So I'm going to do another combat maneuver and take the second guy that did move and try and toss him and grab the key card. Can I do that?
You can toss him or grab the key card. I will not allow both. You're not Chuck Norris.
Come on. Okay. Well, we definitely need the key card, so she's going to go for the
Chuck
key card
Norris,
first.
Colorado Ranger.
Yes.
Yep. Sure. Fighting maneuver is brawl. So again, in this kind of situation where it's slightly chaotic and everyone tries to do things at the same time, it's a brawl to grab the key card as a fighting maneuver. I would judge it as.
Let's go. Yes.
You grab that key card, and it's a lanyard. It has the opening, like a snaps. Yeah, it just snaps. It has that opening mechanism that just opens, and you now have a key card in your hand.
And she's gonna. Can she move? Take a movement and dive back inside the elevator?
Yes, you can. You can move as part of your action. So you move back into the elevator, no problem. You're now inside with a key card. I think that is it for you. And Danny, what do you want to do?
He's going to try to kick that guy again, just to make sure that he's not going to grab the elevator.
Okay. Brawl for you as well to kick him.
Actually, he's currently not in the elevator, right?
No, he's on the one step on the other side. So if he doesn't move, the doors will close in front of him.
Yeah, he's gonna see Jen step in, and he's gonna swipe the card, and like immediately, like even if she's holding, he's gonna like drag her arm into the thing and just start mashing the 5 button.
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you do that. That's I mean, unless Jen wants to oppose. You're still muted, so I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry, what are you doing to her?
I'm grabbing the lanyard in your hand and putting it to the key card. Whether you let go or not, I'm just yanking it towards the thing and hitting 5.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. And since you don't oppose, you automatically succeed on that. Do you want to move anywhere afterwards?
Nope, he's still leaning over and just mashing the 5 button, holding the key card.
Got it. I will enter the
Freddy.
doctor. To make it easy for myself, the doctor will enter into the top of the initiative as the other guys, because it's so much simpler if he just does that.
Mm-hmm.
He comes running back and screams like, "No, don't let them leave." So that's he can't make it. He's going to make it on the next round, but he's sort of running towards you, and he's gonna bring, like, his whole action is just to scream at his henchmen to keep you there and to not let you leave, and he will come running, reach you the next round. The 2 henchmen will both just simply step forward into the door space of the elevator and keep you there. That's like they're a meat shield that keeps you inside the elevator and the doors open. That's their thing. Maka and Frederick, what do you want to do about this?
Maka will just try to shoulder charge one of them to take a step back out of the doorway.
Okay. Brawl? Nope. He is solid, and you're an elderly but older gentleman. You cannot bring the force that you need to move this kind of heavy set of a person. Frederick, what do you intend to try to do about this?
I imagine that Freddy hit the button to go to the ground floor, and as Danny came, he kind of like moved Freddy out of the way. Freddy stands up and just pushes himself into the back of the elevator, and he's just gonna stand there because he doesn't fight.
Harry Potter, do fucking anything!
You sure about
Lumos! And she kicks the guy again.
Oh no!
that? All right then.
So that's your action. You do nothing.
He's gonna do nothing. I mean, his only thing he wants to do is not a good idea.
Completely valid. You're fine. You do nothing. Top of the round, Jen. What do you want to do?
Okay, so there's still a guy in the elevator.
There are 2 guys standing there. The 2 nurses, the beef guys. Both of them, one to the left, one to the right, blocking the doors for the elevator. They cannot close while they're standing there. Their whole turn took to just stand there and try to keep you there. That's their orders. You heard it scream from the doctor.
She doesn't want to shoot any of them because that's loud.
You are the only one that managed to push them so far.
I know, but my luck is gonna run out. I know it. Can she hit both of them? Is that something that she can do?
No, sorry. The attack system works like this. You have 1 attack, and you can then attack 1 target. If you have multiple attacks, you can attack more, but usually only monsters do get that. So you can target 1 of them to shoulder check him.
She's gonna shoulder check him. One of the guy on the furthest, the one away from the keypad, or the number pad, left or right. I don't really know. But okay. As
I envision it in my head, you will go for the one to the right. I just envision that the buttons are to the left. Danny is to the left guy, and you are to the right guy from your perspective.
Okay, so the right.
I mean, it wasn't said in any way, so I just say that this is the canon now. This is how it looks.
Okay, so the guy on the right, she's going to body check again out of the elevator door. Wow.
That is actual fumble for 100. And when you fumble, dire consequences.
I told you my luck was going to run out.
You try to shoulder check him, but this time they seem to know what's up. And since you auto fumble, he's not even going to have to dodge. he will simply move and you run out of that elevator trying to shoulder check him, and you are now 5 steps outside between the doctor and the nurses, as it is. Next person would be...
Fuck.
You can... I will give you this. You can have a movement as part of your action, so you can try to move back into there, but you have to pass them again. So you can try, and I will give this to you as your movement. You can try to move past them if you roll me a dexterity check as part of your movement to slink in between them back, if you want to try that. Because I'm generous. Because I killed you last time.
I think Becca killed me technically. Okay, yeah, she still has a movement. Like if her momentum from the kick took her out, she's gonna try and move back inside with a dexterity check.
Yeah, so this is to try to, because they have their backs towards you, so you're going to try to use that to slink in between them to get back in.
Okay. That's a success.
As you're a trained police officer, you know that some like lower life tries to do this trick sometimes, and you've trained for it. So you just shift your weight, pushes back in, so that turn your shoulders and slide in between them, panting. Danny, over to you.
Get these fuckers out of here.
So, Iquin, I'm gonna roll for bullshit here.
Oh, nice.
You said the duffel bag was just full of random things, right?
Yep.
Okay, some random MacGyver shit. Is it safe to assume that that Macca still has it? Is that safe to assume, Snow?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to rummage around, because I've been in the bag, right? I kind of vaguely know where things are positioned in there. I would like to rummage around and find an empty, like Coca-Cola bottle.
Okay, sure. I'll allow you empty Coca-Cola bottle.
Great.
I'm interested. Let's see where this is going.
You won't like where it's going. So he grabs this Coca-Cola bottle, quickly takes the cap off, all while Jen is running in and out of the elevator. He pulls out his pistol, and he holds the bottle, like the neck of the bottle, and puts the gun against it, and puts that towards the head of what he clearly thinks is a zombie, and fires it, which should stifle the sound of the bullet in a homemade silencer.
Sure, I will give you in this version of Call of Cthulhu, in this Boston, it does work as a silencer.
It does.
That's not a super good one.
Google it. That's a real thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
A real,
but it's
terrible thing.
People think that silencer means no sound.
Oh yeah,
that's not really true. So it works as a silencer.
Yes,
but it's still going
suppressor.
to produce sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what happens here.
So you roll me the firearms, and you get a bonus die, because I think it should be a bonus die. I don't remember the rules for this completely, but since you are on point blank range, you get a bonus. So I would say it's a bonus die. So you should just be able to add a bonus die, I think, in the system and roll it.
For damage.
And you click. No, you click. You want to roll the handgun skill, and then it should ask you. And I think there you can either. Oh no, sorry, it comes after the roll. So you roll the handgun, and then you see bonus penalty now in the chat. So yeah, a 1 is better than a 3, so you have 13, which I think brings it to like a hard success, maybe even a critical success.
Yeah, that's definitely. I think it's an extreme success.
Might be. So yeah, so you do full damage to him.
Hell yeah! So 7 points of damage.
And if I can ever
full damage. Full damage is a D10, so 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. People in the elevator, you can hear this weird gunshot sound since the suppressor is on it, which is it doesn't, the usual ringing and stuff doesn't happen. Jen, you would know how this works, being a police officer and trained in firearms, but the other two are more like a bit surprised by it, that it doesn't sound as high and ringing as it's supposed to. You see that the shot is clean, goes straight through the head. I would say creature at this point does take severe damage from this, but he doesn't go down. But he takes a couple of steps back, grabs his face, like where the entry wound is, looking down into the floor. So he's severely hurt, but what would kill an ordinary man doesn't even drop him to the floor.
Does he stumble out of the elevator?
Yeah, he stumbles out of the elevator.
Okay.
So I'm going to rule it that he takes his turn being shot in the head, because that is something that is hard to do. I know what this creature is, and even with this creature's a bit superior stat, he's going to take a round trying to get his bearings back, being shot at point blank distance in the face. The other one, however, is going to start to snarl very much, and he's going to shift his position to be in the middle of the elevator, trying to block as much of the exit as possible while still holding the door frame. So he puts both of his hands to the sides to sort of grip the frame of the elevator. Because his orders is to keep you there, not to hurt you in any way. The doctor comes around, and he is now wearing a face protection that is put on, like, you know, the ones we all wear. And he has an injector needle in his hand, which has a very distinct black goo in it. And he looks at you, and he's going to be like, excellent. Now, let's begin. And he's going to make a jab for Danny, who stands closest to him where the buttons are. So I, as usual, can't do it, but he is not super good at this. So he has 40 in brawl. Roll me 1d100. And he rolls a 40, so he actually succeeds. This is a fighting maneuver he's trying to do to you. He's trying to stab the needle into you, Danny. You can either take it, you can fight back, which means that you need a better success. He has a normal success, so you need a hard success or better, but then you can deal damage back to him. Or you can dodge it, which means that you only need a normal success and no damage is dealt whatsoever. Like, he can't get the needle in, and he doesn't take any damage.
Muted.
I will dodge.
You will dodge. Then you need roll the dodge skill, and you need to get a normal success or better.
I lied. I will. Yeah, I'll dodge. Okay. That makes the most sense.
That's fine.
Nope.
You get stabbed with the needle, and it feels like fire burns through your whole arm. It sort of spreads out. He stabs you sort of like in your lower arm, about here, and then you can feel the spread going out into your hand. You can also feel it go up into your elbow. That's all of their turns.
He just yells out, "For fuck's sake, do anything!" And he looks at Freddy.
Yeah, it's Freddy and Maka's turn. You have the same deck, so you decide who goes first out of you two.
Since Freddy's probably not going to do anything, I think Maka will go first. The situation is the other big nurse is in the doorway, stopping the doors from closing. And
yes, the doctor is behind him, so that doctor is behind the big dude, reaching in, stabbing. Like, he can't reach all the way, so he went for Danny as he's at the buttons, stabbed Danny in the arm, and then sort of pulled his arm out. So he's behind the nurse outside the elevator. The nurse is in that frame part, where the doors are supposed to go, making sure they're not closing.
Yeah. So Maka's not having much luck moving these guys with force, so he's just going to try to kick that nurse in the nuts.
Go for nut kicking of the nurse.
Not gonna lie, that was Freddy's plan as well.
You have an action afterwards, so.
And I can't hit anything for shit today.
No, I'm sorry. The big dude sort of moves his hips a bit to let the doctor get the needle in, and he sort of is not where you expected him to be. So your kick just lands on his thigh, and he doesn't seem to be bothered at all by it. Frederick.
Frederick's plan changed ever so slightly, Icon, from his original of kick the dude in the nuts. He's seen Danny get stabbed in the arm by some weird, crazy doctor.
Yes.
And he just shouts, "You're a goner," and he tries to push Danny out the door. Into the guy and out the door.
Okay, sure. Fucking going with the PvP here.
I can tell you now, this is not gonna. I'm gonna fail this.
Chris, I'm gonna kill your character in some way.
It's a brawl.
If you roll one,
I guess
I'm gonna
Danny,
kill you.
Danny, you don't want to get shoved into the arms of the big nurse dude,
I
do you?
don't want that.
He's pushing him into the nurse to try and get the
Then-
door to be able to close.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do, but you need to roll a fighting brawl, and then you need to
Told you I'd
succeed
fail
at
it.
that. You don't
roll so
move,
low.
Danny. Danny's a slippery bastard, so you can't get a good grip to shove him.
Fucking guy. So who's in the elevator? Just the orderly?
Right now, the orderly is standing in the door frame of the elevator, holding, like, gripping its frames, keeping his body as both a barrier and a door stopper at the same time.
I have a proposition. So since Freddy just tried to muckle me into the fucking ground, can I dodge?
Sure, you can dodge. I mean, he failed, so you don't have to, but you
Right,
can
right.
dodge if
So
you
you
want
said
to.
there was dodge, there was fight back, or there was like
and take it.
So if
Yeah,
I
there's some other things, but the most is like spells and shit, but you don't have any.
sure. If I fight back and succeed, can I
Then he will take the damage instead.
instead of damaging, can I do a maneuver and push Freddy like into the orderly's knee to like make him kind of
Yeah.
buckle his knee?
I'll allow it.
Fuck you, Danny. I mean, fuck you, Freddy. I'm awesome. I'm Danny. I'm great.
Freddy doesn't fight. He reads books.
So
Do
like,
you-
Freddy, you were on the floor, right? You had like sunk down to the floor.
Yeah, he was like hiding in the corner
Yeah.
because he couldn't reach the button anymore, and he sort of just tried to jump up and push Danny.
So
but-
I think as you jump up, he has like one hand is still like, or one hand is holding the gun, the other one just gets stabbed, and he just sees you and just pushes your head towards the orderly's like knee, so his knee kind of buckles on one side, causing him to like stumble.
Yeah, I that was so nicely described, and you used your breacher for that. I will say, Frederick, take down a point of damage because you got your head smashed into someone's knee, forcefully.
I thought I was gonna push it into his nuts, but whatever.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm trying to
The-
advance the plot.
It's a good idea. I'm definitely gonna give it to you. The knee buckles. He goes out, and I said it was 2 rounds before the door's gonna start close, and magically you got it right and in time. It's almost like fairy tale. You smash his face into that knee. The knee buckles, and you hear that ding, and the doors close.
on his head.
No. I'm sorry. Yes, the doors close.
I just
Inside
being a
again.
dick.
He does.
Frederick is inside. I'm just gonna give him 1 point of damage for a broken nose.
I was gonna say his 1 point of damage is he definitely has a nosebleed for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You have a nosebleed and probably a broken nose.
I got fucking stabbed again.
You're a gunner, and he gets up and he pushes himself holding his broken nose and pushing himself as far away from Danny as he
What the
can.
hell's with you two? And she's gonna.
He just keeps trying to kill me.
Is the needle still sticking, sticking out
No,
of his arm?
he stabbed the needle, pressed it in, and removed the needle. So
Okay.
whatever he had is injected inside Danny right now.
She does have some first aid, so she's just
Sure.
gonna lean down to Freddy and like rip off the strip of her smock or whatever the fuck you call it.
I would
scrubs?
give you there is some first aid in the duffel bag.
Oh, okay. So she'll
Yeah.
just slam it onto his face and try and stop the bleeding. It's like, and then she's gonna look to Dan. She's like, "What the fuck did he just inject you with?"
I don't know. I'm not actually a doctor. I'm just pretending to be one.
Shit.
I shot that man in the face, and he didn't die. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, you're gonna be one of them.
I'm
What
gonna
the hell's wrong with you?
Your
eat you
arm
first.
burns. It burns bad. It burns like somebody's holding fire to it currently.
I can't really do anything about that.
Shoot him.
Quinn.
Shoot him.
Just,
No, but
no, I just
just so you know.
don't shoot me.
Police Lee, shoot him.
Freddy, a live
What?
specimen is much better than a dead specimen. You
I'm
know
not a
that.
specimen.
But you can't dissect them when they're alive.
This is how Becca died, isn't
Who
it?
says?
You guys turned on her, didn't you?
Yes, that's what you did.
I run away. See, that's why I pressed the ground button. Don't sit here and fight.
We have to go to the
things.
top. And
No,
so
we have
I'm
to go
assuming
to-
the elevator is
Stop,
going up,
stop.
right?
We have to go
We,
to
Yeah,
the
we
elevator's
have the
going up.
evidence now. We just need to take him and get him analyzed.
You
the
can
elevator
take
is
him. I'm
currently
leaving.
moving upwards to the 5th floor.
What the hell's the matter with you
listen,
people?
Okay, listen. We don't know that this is the same thing that they're injecting the crazy people with. I'm still not a zombie yet, so we don't know for sure. But we should get another sample from here. I know
Let
that
Maka
sounds
cut her arm
crazy
off.
because I'm bleeding. And I've been injected with something.
Do you feel anything?
Yeah, on fire?
How many fingers am I holding up?
2.
He's good.
Yeah, I'm just on fire. My arm is on fire. It's like, you ever get, what's that one? The peanut butter shot. It's like that. It's on fire. It hurts a lot. But
Did you look at your arm in game?
spreads very fast.
Danny,
I would assume he's looking down while he's talking about it.
Your veins are black. You can see most of the major veins in your arm, and they're all turning black. And you can see it sort of creeping out from that puncture wound from the needle.
Oh. Doc, I know that's not how doctors work, but that's bad, right?
Yeah. Can we get a tourniquet on that? It's probably best that doesn't spread to the rest of his nervous system.
Yeah. She has zip ties on her possession thing, so she's gonna put some together. Because I'm assuming one won't reach around his arm.
No, probably the cuffs will. The zip cuffs. They'll probably reach.
Yeah. Okay. So she's gonna try and do a tourniquet on like his upper arm. Right?
I don't know if you could tell by all those brawling failures, but Danny's not a strong boy. He's a talky boy.
I'll give it to you. You make a homemade jerry-rigged. What was it you were making?
A
Tourniquet.
tourniquet.
A tourniquet. Yes, a tourniquet. Sure. And I will say that looking at the time, and I already forewarned at least Mike that this will be a 2-part because there's no way I can cram all the things that I needed into one. That you
Especially
notice
not the way we play.
Exactly. So you notice that the elevator takes a very long time to move one floor, and we will leave the game with the doors saying ding and opening into something you have never seen before.
Oh, great.
God dang it. All right. Well, this was episode 4 of this world of Call of Cthulhu of our Patreon one-shots. If you guys want to see the other 2 episodes, the McCarthy Estate and Mall of Smiles, they are both on our YouTube, so go check those out. This one will be there in a couple days. But for now, let's go around, do our introductions. We're going to do our after show, which if you want access to, Patreon link down below. And then we're going to get out of here and do our second one-shot of the day, run by our very own G. So let's go around, do our outros, and get the hell out of here. We will start with Snow. Snow, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
So I'm Snowdogs or Norm. You can find me very soon in the next one-shot that G's running, and then tomorrow in the Patreon campaign. And other than that, just in Discord.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST.
Yeah, only one that had it wrong, I guess. Speaking of that campaign, Chris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Chris. You can find me in the Discord. Just the Discord, nowhere else. Discord and Mike's games.
Perfect.
The
G,
Patreon ones.
who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Lightning Invoker. You can all call me G. You'll find me in the Discord, modding here, playing here for the Patreon games, and modding for Nomadic. And on Twitter with LightningSpaz09.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, our wonderful keeper, Iquin, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm Iquen. I am the keeper. You can find me in the Discord, or you can find me
in your nightmares.
Oh, shit.
That was terrifying. I hated it. Thank you for this awesome game. Thank you guys for being here. Super cool. Thank you for those corruption bars, even though it was you guys doing it to yourselves. You deserved these. I don't like the fact that Chris makes the corruption bar happen and then I get stabbed. So
Your fault.
I don't appreciate that at all. So we're going to get out of here, do our after show. Stick around. We'll be back in a little bit for another one shot. But for now, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.